Okay guys, so now what we're going to get into is another concept that I'm going to add to this series. Just like before with the collar grips, we learned all the different ways in the first part of this De La Riva system, how to sweep your opponent, how to stabilize top, right? We discussed the implications of somebody defending a sweep, which is posting your hands, which is taking your butt off the floor. So now we're going to see how when I have this hip grip, how sweeping will be identical, but it will be significantly stronger in a lot of aspects and respects. Why is that? Because when I have the hip grip, I'm able to push someone's hips to the floor, right? What is the definition of a sweep that we learned in the first part of our series? How we defined sweep was the butt staying on the floor. The only way the person could defend a sweep is by putting their feet on the floor to take their butt off the floor, or putting their hands on the floor to take their butt off the floor. Those are the only two ways. Or they could turn and put their knees on the floor to take their butt off the floor. But again, they're posting their arms, so it stays exactly the same. Those are the only three ways basically somebody could defend a sweep, right? And what we learned in the previous series was when the person posts and the person holds the collar, we can pull the collar forward, disrupting the strength in my post, taking the weight off of my palm, putting it forward on my shoulder and elbow. But then once we punch it, it breaks their post, making it that I can stabilize top to get their hips back to the floor. But I didn't have a grip on the hip. So because I have a hip grip exactly on the hip, it's going to make this position so much stronger. Okay, so if you could stand up, please. I'm going to be here, De La Riva. The same thing as before. Getting all my frames perfect. I'm going to lift her up. She's going to put her weight down. I'm going to bring her knee to my chest. I'm going to stretch, bringing her body this direction. I'm going to get to the ASIS. I'm going to start going under her. She's going to follow me, squaring her head with my body. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the hip. I'm going to push, bringing her shoulder to me. She's on her tippy toe. Look. It's exactly the same thing as before. Look how her back leg is on her tippy toes. Now I punch. And she falls right here. Okay? So when she falls right here, guys, what I want you to notice is she posting her hands or is she down? If she stays down, I have many options I could do here. Because my foot's already on her hip, I could take my foot off the hip, creating this tripod style sweep, bringing my leg up, pulling myself up, and coming on top like so. I did this sweep against Bruno Malfacini. I had an underhook on the leg, which will be a different series, but I swept him with this grip. I came up just like so. It's a very good, easy sweep because the person is trying to stay square with you. You simply just, you're here. I hook. I get the knee to their chest. I just now take my foot off of her hip. You see, this foot on the hip is helping me keep her away so she can't come into me. So now when she's here, I just sweep. I come on my knees and I come up. And I already have her hips on the floor because I have this hip grip on her body, right? So stand up again. So that is why this hip grip is so strong in terms of sweeping someone. You literally already have the connection to their hips as if you were in a single or double leg or any ankle pick sort of thing. You're already controlling their hips, right? So I'm here in De La Riva. I go here, I try to flip. I bring the knee to the chest, I stretch. I get the hip grip. She starts to bring her head square with me. When she does this, I pull her forward. She goes on her tippy toe. I just put my foot on her stomach. Look how my toes are both on her stomach. I sweep her down. We get her to this spot here. Okay. Now when we're here, I see the post. I could just push her hip down for now. I'm going to hook her leg. Going here. Now all I'm going to do is this. My foot's here. It hooks. I'm just going to go on my knees and come up. So how do I get on my knees? I just let go of my hook. I go here. I take out my hook. But once I take out my hook, I'm just going to bring my body square to her leg. Like an ankle pick almost. You see? There's many variations I can do to come up here. But for now, all we're doing is hooking the leg. And we're going to come up to the top like so. Okay? Now, let's add in more variations. Okay, I'll sweep you again. Let's add in more variations to this spot. I'm going to give you a bunch of options for sweeping, okay? I just am putting everything together in one video because I want you guys to be able to combine everything together. I think it's easier for you guys to understand if I group everything together based on what they're doing, because this is how you're going to drill it. So I want to make it easier for you to do it just like we're drilling, right? So I'm going to be here now. I'm going to try to lift. She's going to put her weight on her leg. I'm going to go here, stretch. I'm going to get the hip grip. Once I get this hip grip, I bring her knee to my chest. I sweep her. She falls down. So the first one I did, I hooked. I came up, right? The second one I'm going to do, she's going to post her arms on the floor, like so, to take her butt off the floor. You see? And now she can back away from me. She can try to back away. She can try to back away, right? So my berimbolo senses are triggering, or tingling right now. But we're not going to do berimbolo. So we're going to be here. She's posting both hands on the floor. What am I going to do? I'm going to go on my shoulder. I'm going to put my foot in front of her leg like this. Now I'm going to stretch my shin on her stomach. I'm going to bring my knee like this. Now I'm going to sweep her down, like so. Stay up, please. If I need to, I could even put my hand under her armpit, like so. Try to stay up now when I go like this. Could you stay up?
No.
It's very hard for her to stay up because I'm putting my shin across her whole body. So I'm keeping my foot on her hip. I'm putting my leg over her body. And now I can sweep her by connecting my toes even behind her armpit, like this. So she only has one arm, so go back up. So I trap this back arm, I hook my knee on her body, and then I push. You see, it's very hard for her to stay up when I do this. But notice, my leg is now on the other side of her body. So if I don't stay in front of this forward knee, I'll end up in single leg X if I come up here. Single leg X. You see? So I have to be careful of this. In many matches, I actually do come up in single leg X like this because I don't mind being on top in single leg X. You know, there's many positions and passes I like to do here and even expose the back. But, so we could avoid that, I'm going to show you another option. So, here. Go here. So, she posed both hands. I go here. One, I go here, I go on my shoulder. So now I can tip this arm to try to trap it to sweep it. Come back up. Once I get here, I could go like this. I bring my butt in front of her like so. I sweep her. I bring my butt in front of her leg. You see how her hip or knee is behind my butt now. So now what I can do is I can simply, like before with the collar, I'm going to use the momentum. I'm going to pull the hip and I bring my head to her body. Now I'm going to come up and out like so. You see? The detail of bringing my head to her body is what's going to help me land in this spot. And the detail of my butt being in front of her leg is going to keep me able to come up in front of her hips with the pass box gone. Remember how I taught it in the collar one? When she's here, she's posting both hands. How I taught with the collar one, once I do this, I create this wedge in between her, this wall, stopping her knees from going to her chest. Remember what we discussed when I said this. So whenever I do this, this was in the first part of the De La Riva system. So if you're unfamiliar with this concept, please refer back to that so you'll understand what I'm saying. When I do this, I eliminate the knees from going to their chest because my leg is there. So because the knees can't go to the chest, it's giving me a space. It's giving me a hole to go into to pass the guard. So that is why I'm putting my shin across her body, right? So when I'm here, if you watch the other part of the De La Riva system, when I went like this, I would come up like this, and then I'll come up and out. You see? It's almost the same thing. Except instead of the collar, I'm going to use the hip grip. I'm going to use this grip to do the same thing. So I'm just going to be like this. I'm going to hook. Now I can even tip the shoulder if I want. And now I'm going to move my head close to her hip and my butt in front of her leg. Once I do this, I'm going to post my hand. Try to get me in single leg X. There's no way because I have both hips controlled here, you see? So I'm able to come up right at the top. If I feel like it's hard, I can even come up on an angle here. But I just have to stay in front of this leg. That's all I need you guys to do. If this leg comes out, we're back in single leg X, which is totally fine. I don't mind being in single leg X. It's just more things we have to do. We still swept the person, right? The only advice I'll give you, if you go to single leg X, don't accept this foot on your hip. Keep this foot off your hip, right? And then that's one less frame to deal with. Okay, another series I'll explain how to deal with single leg X. But for now, we're just getting to sweep the person. And if you can, we're going to be here. and we're going to get in front of this leg like so. Hooking the hip, hammering. I get on my shoulder. Now if I want, I can hook this. If I can sweep her like this, awesome. I move my head to her. Now I'm going to push my hand on the floor and come up to mount. You see? And again, berimbolo is so good right now. This is the perfect place for the berimbolo system. So if you're watching the berimbolo system and now you're watching this, please put everything you just learned in the berimbolo system into this. This is why it's so important that you understand how to attack the person when their butt's on the floor. Because now everything you learned from the berimbolo system will be put together in this. That's why I taught everything how I'm teaching it. For the people that wanted berimbolo, this is the perfect time to learn now to use the berimbolo. You have the options of berimbolo if you watch my berimbolo system. Now you're going to be able to have the setups to get there, right? So now you'll be able to put everything together. Everything should make so much more sense for you if you're practicing the berimbolo and now you get to use this also setups and all these attacks. Because her butt's on the floor now. We're right into that game. And remember, there's 3 things the person could do when you get their butt to the floor. You could attack the foot with the footlock system. You can sweep the person with the sweeping system, and you could go into the berimbolo system. So I'm giving you all 3 tools, right? I have also a DVD on footlocks also. And that's another option when their butt's on the floor, okay? But those are the first few options here. So let's review. Stand up. Here. I go to flip. I can't. I bring the knee to chest. I go here. She faces me. I bring her knee to her stomach. I bring her foot falls. She goes here. So the first one, I just push the stomach. I hook her leg. I go here. Knees to chest. I bring my arm up like so. And I come up. 1. Another option. I'm here. I feel like this is too hard. She's posting both arms, moving her butt away from me. So it might be hard for me to do this, right? Because her butt's off the floor. She might frame me, whatever. So all I'm going to do is this. I just bring my leg on top of her leg, like so. I go on my shoulder. And now I'm just going to hook her arm. The sweep, come back up. Even here, I can put my butt here. I can try to sweep if I feel like she's bothering me. Again, what did I say in the first part of this system? Whenever she's posting, she is exposed. So now I can do this. Look, here, and get a body lock off a mount. Because her post stop her from defending any frames of her body. So if she stays up there, no problem. I already eliminated the pass box. So what can I do? I can just jump up. She has no frames because she's posting, and we can just jump right to mount. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra position into this exchange. And what's going to happen now? I'm going to show you an alternative way my opponent could defend when I get their butt to the floor. So go Dela Hiva on me. I'm going to explain the reaction. This way a little. This way a little. So she's here. She's going to have Dela Hiva on me. She's going to be here. She's going to be on the floor. She almost swept me, right? What is the reaction going to be? The reaction is going to be like this. The opponent is going to post their hand. And to stay up here, they're going to open their knee. They're going to put their foot on the floor and do this. Look how my butt's off the floor now. Because she's just controlling my hips, if the person opens their knee, they could use that as a base to get their leg up here. You see? So this could be a challenge. This is going to be a different reaction that I'm going to give you an answer to right now, okay? So I'm going to do it to her. Just so you can see what we do in this spot to sweep the opponent. I'm going to give you some berimbolo options after here, but I first want you to understand how to sweep the opponent when they do this, okay? So I'm going to have the hip grip here. I'm going to be here. She's going to post her hand. She's going to open her knee. She's going to be on her toes, on her back leg, and she's going to be trying to open her knee here. Why? Because now she's able to get off her butt. What did we say the rule was for her to sweep me? She needs to be on her butt, right? So what am I going to do now? I'm going to, because her knee is coming out, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to remove my hand from the hip grip. Because look how her knee is open. I can't close her knee anymore. I'm going to switch my hand to a cross grip on her leg. I'm going to post my hand on the floor. I'm going to hook my back leg on the side of her body, like so. I'm going to post my hand on the floor. And now look what happened. Are we in identical positions now, right? She's posting one hand, I'm posting one hand. She's holding one leg, I'm holding one leg. So what am I going to do? I'm using this to stand up, and I'm using my foot on the side of her body to pull myself up. Look. Now I'm going to hold the ankle, and I'm going to lift up even more to finish the sweep. You see? So now we're switching to a cross grip on her leg. Why are we doing that? When she opens her knee, look what she's doing. She's sweeping her hip. Whenever somebody opens their knee, their hip is this way. So what we're doing is we're grabbing the leg the same way that she's opening. So open your knee. I'm helping her open, but now I'm putting more weight on her hip. And remember, the more weight that's on her hips, the easier this is, because for her to defend the sweep, she's putting weight on her arm. The arm is what's taking the weight off of her hips. But when we do this and we put more weight on her hip, it makes her arm lighter. Once our arm is lighter, what are we doing? We're doing the rules of posting. What was the rule of posting? When she's holding a pose, if I can make her body go in front of her arms, she's going to fall. You see? So again, post your hands. If I make her body go in front of her arms, she's going to fall. So I'm following all these mechanics. Stand up, please. I'm following all these mechanics when I'm doing this by simply tilting her knee opening. We got the cross grip and the ankle. Opening her hip more. And when we open her hip more, her post is going to become weaker because her hip is opening. You see? And we're running into her. So now her butt's coming closer to her and her hip is opening. It's completely destroying the post she had. Okay? So again, I'm here. I try to flip. I bring the knee to chest. I stretch. I get the hip grip here. She tries to face me. I sweep her down. I get her here. She starts opening her knee. She starts going here, and she starts getting to this spot here. Her butt off the floor. She's on her toes. I'm going to switch to a cross grip on her leg. I'm going to post my elbow on the floor. You see? So now what am I going to do? I'm going to put the side of my foot on her body like this. Any grip I could get on her body. She's hand fighting my leg now. She's trying to be strong. I'm just going to place my foot here. I'm going to keep the side of my arm here. I'm going to go side foot. I'm going to go side foot on the floor. The second I go side foot, I'm going to switch to live foot. That's what's going to help me stand up here. So 1, 2. 1, 2. So you see how my arm changes. I'm here. I'm going to go from the elbow to the hand. And it's basically the same thing as how you use your feet, right? First you're on the side foot. And then once you go live foot, you can post your knee on the floor. So I use the side foot, I move back, and look how I can move my hand to the mat. So I just do this. 1, 2. And I'm doing that with my hand. I'm just putting weight on my fingers like this to make my hand come up. Once I get here, I lift up the leg, I go 2 grips on the leg. Try to back up your arm, your body. See, it's hard for her to move now because I have control of her hips stuck. And I'm holding the leg. So now when I stand up here, it makes her fall really easy. You see? That is why I'm going this 2-on-1. I'm able to sweep her. So again. Change sides so they get from here. Here. I go to sweep. I move her body. I go to the hip grip. I start going around. She squares up with me. I sweep her down. Once I sweep her down, she takes her foot off the floor. She starts opening her knee. So now all I do is this. I grab the cross grip. I go on my elbow. I keep my foot on her hip. Once I'm on my elbow, I put my weight on my hands. I go side foot. I stand up and I grab the ankle up. You see? This is where I'm landing. And if she puts her foot on the hip, I could clear. I could end up in half guard. I have many options to expose there. So come up, please. Go back to this side because I feel like that side you don't see as much. Here. I try to flip. I change the angle. I get here. She's angling herself with me. I sweep her down. I get here. She's opening her knee now. Look at she's trying to open her knee. You see how if she opens her knee, she has a base now, and now she can take her butt off the floor, right? And she can clear her leg. Tanquinho did this a lot against Rafael Mendes. Reference Worlds 2013. Tanquinho kept clearing the De La Riva a lot against Mendes like this. He just opened his knee and put weight down, and then he would clear. You see, this is a very common reaction for people to defend De La Riva. So we could do this to defend that. When we get the grip here, and they post, and they open their knee, we could grab the cross grip on the leg, post our elbow, and we get here. You see, Now stay off the floor though. Put your knee on the floor. Yes, because you're trying to stay up. If she stays down, I could just sweep her. So go back down. If she stays down, I could just sweep her and go here or another spot, which I'm going to discuss in a second. So when she's here and she stays up, look what I do. I post my hand on the floor. I come up like this. Look how easy it is for me to go 2 grips on her ankle. Could you stay up now? Try to stay up with me.
No, I couldn't.
Could you get up there at all?
No.
There's no way because I have control of her knee. I have control of her whole hip. So it's really easy for me to come up and sweep her like this, you see? So now another option I'm going to give you. So stand up again. I'll show it one more time, then I'm going to give you another option here. I want to give you guys as many options as possible so there's no spot that you feel like you're confused about, okay? So I'm going to be here. I'm going to try to flip, she sits. Knee to chest, stretch. We get her here. She squares at me, I sweep her down. I get her to this spot. She opens her knee, she starts coming up. I'm going to grab the hip again, just to give you the last option. Here, take my leg off the floor, I come up. Once I get here, if I feel like she's still fighting me, I stand up, I grab the ankle. I sweep her down. I sweep, right? So another option that could happen. I'm going to go to the same spot. She's going to open her knee, but she's going to stay down this time. Okay? So she's already going to be down, but I'm going to give you a new option of going around her legs. Okay? So when I'm here, I go to flip, she sits, knee to chest, I stretch. I get the hip grip, I go around her, I sweep. Now, she starts opening her knee, I'm going to get to this spot, but her hip is down already, right? So I could easily do what we just did before it come up. But I'm going to notice that her butt's already on the floor. So what am I going to do? Instead of going in between her legs, I'm going to give you the option of going around her legs. And you're going to see it's the same exact concept as before. I'm going to take this leg. I'm going to put my hook in. I'm going to place the leg on this side of my body. I'm going to cup her knee like so. And I'm going to use the side of my knee on her hip like so. Now I'm going to beat down my arm like this on her knee. Post my arm and come up like a leg jerk. So move down and flip it. So try to come up on me and get my body or whatever. Yes, exactly. No, go to my body. No, like you just did, hug my back. So because I have so much control of her hip right now, you feel like you could do anything here. No. Look what I can do with my hands. I can clear that easily and do whatever I want here. So this grip and opening the knee is so strong. The person that does this leg drag incredible is Kyotera. He does this always. He is always like this on people and eating leg drags by opening the knee, you know. But it's a great spot to sweep someone as well. So whenever we get to this spot, we could sweep people super easy like this. Just bringing our knee like this and opening their hip. It's exactly the concept before when we did this, right? We're opening the hip, but now we're using the side of our knee to hug the body to open the hip. You see? That is why we're able to do this. Her body's already on the floor. So if I'm here and her body's already on the floor a little bit, she can even be posting a little bit. Take your body off the floor a little bit. I can still sweep her by doing this. It's like a Kimura sweep almost. We lift up and then I turn my hip. You see? And it's very hard to stay up now, right?
Yeah.
Because all my weight now is on her hips, you see? That's why this is such a strong sweep. So stand up, please. So now I'm giving you a bunch of sweeps to do in this spot that will make it super easy for you to get on top, you know? And I think that the hip grip is way easier to sweep than even the collar grip because you already have connection to their hips, right? So we're here. I try to flip. I stretch. I go here. I angle around, she squares. Knee to chest. I sweep her, she falls. I get to this spot here. She starts opening her hip. I start thinking, okay, I can go for the sweep here. They come up, 1. But I see that she's on her hip a lot on this side. So I'm doing this because I feel like all her weight's on this side and she's kind of on the floor. Then I'll take my foot, put it under her leg, drag this leg, cup. Could you change angles? I want them to see this hand, so just this way. I cut my hand on this part of her leg like so. So I can open the hip. The more I open the hip, the less base she has. Keep your weight off the floor. Now look how she falls when I open the hip here. You see? And my leg is on the outside of her body, so she can't attack a leg lock on me. No, inside my legs. Inside.
Oh, here?
Yes. If my leg was inside, she could attack things. But because my leg is on the outside of her body, you see, there's no threat of a leg lock on me right now. So now I can open the leg here and go to this spot here. There's many finishes here, many different things, but I'm already on the outside of her body, so she's not in guard right now. Okay, so again, I'm here. Get the hip grip, she squares, I sweep. I go here, she posts her hand, she opens her knee. I go here, I post. I can sweep like this. One. Another option. I'm here, I can drag the leg like this. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, what if they just explode and jump to the other side? No, like you would post this on the floor. You'd come up, post, and then you jump. Let me show you. Drag my leg. Yeah. You'd be like this. So I would get to the mat like this, here, and then jump to the side. So here. If I'm here and the person wants to jump, look how my foot is protecting me. This inside foot is still a wall on her. This is my frame, okay? So I'm still in this tripod spot. Then when I'm ready to go, I remove my foot and place my knee in the spot of my foot. Look, here. Now there's no way, because I already have the pressure on her hip, so now start trying to move. Now I have the pressure of my hip on her. And my shin is blocking her body. You see? So I'm in a very safe spot. Now I can move my foot down her body, like so, and get to this spot. It's a great sweeping spot. Stand up, please.
When you do this, could the person do anything with their leg?
You can frame your shoulder like this, but you see how your hip is so open? There's so many passes. There's so many different opportunities that you could do there, so, because you're not in guard. So you can just push me. You can't pull or play guard. So again, I'm here. Go to flip, I can't, I move. I put the hand here. I go around, she squares. I sweep, she falls down. She starts opening her knee. I get here. So I grab the leg, I go one. I prefer, guys, if when you're here and you do this sweep, you don't leave your foot on the stomach. Because if I come up with my foot on the stomach, I'm in 70-30. But if I'm here and I hook her body like this, and I come up, look where I end up. So now she's in maybe sitting like X, all these things here. But I have volume on the floor now because my foot's on the floor. So if my foot's on the floor, I have base on this side. If my foot's not on the floor, and I come up, I'm in 70-30 now, right? So I'm still good here, but I have to change the base because my leg is not on the floor. Back exposure is great here, there's different things, but if you want to clear your legs, having your leg on the floor is always ideal because now I can put weight on my back leg, on this forward leg. So, here she squares up, I sweep her down. I get here. She goes here, I grab. I post my elbow. I keep the side of my foot here as a frame. I start coming up, I hook now with my shin here. Now my knee is sweeping her, you see? So that is a better option, I think, when you get there. Okay, and then we also have the option of this. So here, I sweep her down. I go to drag the leg, her knee's open. I do this. I go here, I have the grip on the ankle. I take my hand out, I get to the ankle grip here. Now instead of posting, I'm just gonna hold the ankle, I'm gonna move it to this side of my body like so. Again, notice my foot is staying on her hip here. This is what's keeping me framing her so she can't come into me. You see? It's like I'm grabbing the ASIS, but I'm doing it with my foot. You see, that is why I'm doing this. You see how my foot is on her hip? Then once I have my foot on the hip, I'm gonna replace it with my knee.
Can I do anything with this leg when you're here?
Like what?
Like, can I push away here and stop?
If you push away, push away. Look how you sweep yourself.
What if I push the other way? Like I push you down this way to this side.
Now I could just hook your leg like this and come up. You see, both of your knees are going to your chest if you fight me with this leg.
Okay.
So when I'm here, anything you do here, I could sweep you. You see? So now stay back normal. So now once you're here, I could drag my leg in, and now I put my knee to the ASIS. Because once the knee goes to the ASIS, she's stuck here. She can't come up. So now try to come up. You see, you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to think about here. I'm trying to place my knee on the ASIS, which is just anywhere in near that bone that will keep her from coming into me. You see? Now once I'm here, I can open the knee and get into a leg drag possibly here. Okay, so again, let's change sides so they get a good angle. I'm here. I try to flip, I move. I go here, she squares up, I sweep her down. I get to this spot here. She's opening, I grab the hip grip, I grab the leg. I start going, my foot on the ASIS, I drag the leg, my knee under her body. I connect my knee, I open the hip, and now I sweep her with my knee on the ASIS, landing here. Now once I get here, I'm keeping the knee open. I stretch my leg to finish a leg drag. I have so many different options, but you're not in guard anymore. See, that's so important. Whenever I'm on the outsides of her legs, there's no guard. The only option she has when she's not in guard is to push me away. And every time she's pushing, there's a chance for passing, right? Because she's not in guard, she has no frames. She can only make frames in her arms to push me away. So again, I'm here. I go to lift, I can't, I stretch. I go here. I sweep her down. I end up here. Go here. Here. Yeah, I love if she lands here because my foot is on the floor. You see, this is perfect for me. So now I have this grip, I can clear this, push down her legs and get out of the legs, you see? Opposed to me landing like this, where I'm in this spot, which I like too. I love this because I can attack the back. But if I want to stay on top and sweep, it's ideal for my foot to actually be on the floor, right? So stand up, I'm just gonna keep mixing in things. The flip, I stretch, I go here. She's here, I sweep her. She goes here. So I hook, I feel like that's uncomfortable, I can sweep one. I have the option of now hooking on her body, getting the ASIS to her leg. Look, I can change angles. Look how my foot is still on her hip right now. I want you to see this. Look at this foot, how it's still on the hip. Once I'm ready to come up, I put my knee, I push it into my foot. Once I'm ready to come up, I remove my foot, side foot, live foot. See this back leg, side foot, live foot. Then I'm able to come up, putting pressure with my knee here and opening her leg. Like if I was doing a Kimura sweep. It's the same thing as this. So post your arm here with the post. So keep your arm posted. I bring the shoulder forward. Now our weight's on her elbow, right? And then I push and I collapse her elbow. With her hip, it's the same thing. Straighten your leg. I'm here. I put weight forward. As I open, and now once her knee is open, the weight's on her knee, I collapse her knee. Do you see how it's exactly the same thing as the elbow? It's just a different part of the body, but they work exactly the same. We're starting to see how the arms and legs have so many identical traits in them, right? That is how you're going to start learning how to manipulate the body, because the concepts are so similar in the arms and legs. Some small things vary, right? Because now we're opening a hip instead of the elbow. But both are essentially the same exact function, right? We're doing exactly the same thing in both. So here, when her leg is like this, and I'm putting pressure, now I can open her knee. When her elbow is on the floor posting, post your hand. And I pulled forward, and then I pushed, her elbow fell to the floor. Now we close her elbow. So one we're closing kind of, and the other we're opening. That's the only difference in the knee and elbow, right? Because it's like opposites, right? My elbow goes this way, my knee goes this way. So that is why one of you're closing and the other you're opening. You see, but they were exactly the same pretty much. So when we're in De La Riva here, for me to sweep, I have all the options, see down? I have all the options, just go on your foot, normal. I just have to, yes, here. I have all the options. One, pushing her hip down. Two, overriding this knee if I want. I feel that she's starting to give me all these different posts and reactions. So start opening your knee. Yes. I connect. See, the second I hook behind her body, she can't keep my leg inside. That's why I'm able to go here. Then if she posts on my hip here, it's easy to defend because my foot's already on the floor, okay? So that's why I'm posting here. Okay, another option, over here, she's posted her arm. I get here. She's posting her arm. I go here, I get my leg up, I bring my leg under my foot, I hook. So now it's like I'm holding both legs, right? I cup the knee, I come up, I open my knee. It's a sweeper. So, I feel like now what you're learning, guys, is not only how to sweep the person on their arms, you're learning to sweep them on their hips and knees also. And I think that's so interesting because how I just explained, if you think about a knee, how my arm is like this, my arms go this way, my knees go this way. So the function of your arm, because it goes this way, it closes. The knee, because it goes this way, it opening. And both of those are what help us expose sweeps, right? And both of those is why when I'm like this and the person opens their hip to defend and we open their knee, it puts pressure on my hip and that makes me fall, right? Both work together with the body. So now you're getting a deeper, broader understanding of the whole body itself, how each part of the body works with each other, right? And you're getting a lot more options how to sweep their opponent when you go to De La Riva, when you get the hip grip. I personally love sweeping people with the hip grip. I think it's the easiest thing to do because everyone just defends the berimbolo. Berimbolo, they say, okay, bring my butt away from them. My butt away from them. Okay, now I can come up so easy, you know. So for me, in competition, the easiest thing for me to do is actually sweep from De La Riva. It isn't to take the back because every time I go for the back, people give me the sweep. Every time you go for the sweep, though, people are going to give you the back. So you have to understand how to put everything together. And now you're starting to see how simple it is to sweep. And I hope you're starting to see now for people that don't do berimbolo. This, you can completely do everything. Not inverting, not doing anything with your neck. You could have berimbolo in your game just for the overhead. If you don't want to do anything with berimbolo, it's so easy. You just sweep. We have the hip grip. It's the same concept as berimbolo. We're using all our berimbolo systems, all our grips, everything, as if we were playing cross collar, as if we were playing berimbolo, right? So I want you to start adding this in. I want you to play with the different bases the person could give you on top and see how you're able to sweep the opponent when they're in this scenario. First, with the hip grip, hooking the leg like a tripod coming up. Then when you're there, you get over the leg, play with getting over the leg going to mount. Their knee comes in. Okay, single leg X. Peeling the hooks, right? Okay, they open their knee. Okay, then we're going to grab the cross grip and the ankle. We're going to come up hooking her body so my leg doesn't end up in the air with no weight on it because I want my foot on the floor when I land. So that's way better for us. Then we're going to do the other one where instead of coming up, I'm going to drag the leg, getting to the coyote leg drag, opening their hip. And that's going to help me sweep the person, right? So you're seeing how all these spots work together and we could build on them to make the sweeping spots so much easier for us, okay? So this is how we're going to do it, just with all the grips. Just play with them all. I want the person that's drilling with you to give you the different reactions, different looks. Try defending the sweep, the person that's playing with you. And you might start seeing, oh, look at this. I'm able to defend the sweep, but now they're giving you the back. Because that's what's going to essentially happen. When they start defending the sweep, they give the back. So do all the different bases, all the different reactions, and then you're going to see where you end up when they're doing those reactions, okay? I want you guys to really focus on the different feelings that the person gives you. Okay, they're pushing my leg too much here. They're opening their knee too much. I can't keep the De La Riva. No problem. We're going to switch to the cross grip. You're going to come up. Drilling like this is how you're going to have an answer to every position. We never force any position. Again, we never force any position. If you're getting stuck here, that means they're giving you a reaction that you're responding wrong to. You don't need more force. You don't need more strength. You just need to observe what they're doing. Observation is crucial in this. Observation is what's going to get you to respond correctly. Okay? I don't want you to force anything when we're in these positions. Just follow what we're doing. Feel what the person's giving them. If they're not opening their hips, so don't open your hip this time. If she's not opening her hip, she's all her weight's on the back leg. World number 2 of berimbolo. What does that mean? Sweeping is really easy. The way that she can defend is putting all the weight on the front leg. But now she's here, no problem. I'm gonna sweep her, opening her hip. So we're not forcing anything. We're gonna just observe, play with her bases. We're gonna feel where her arms are strong, and we're gonna get to the positions, and that's how I want you to drill. Open study, open conversation, open dialogue with each other, okay? So we're gonna drill it like this, and then we're gonna move on to the next thing. Bas.